by the Atlas Speed Factory rig. Also, any questions you want to know about podiums and etiquette about carrying yourself on and off the track and making right choices, just come by the Atlas Speed Factory, say hello, get a drink of water, say hello to Brian, the team owner. Jesse James is back there. Got a whole host of riders, so stop by and see us at the Atlas Speed Factory.
It's not Loretta Lynn's without Wes Kane, and glad to see you here, and you're doing some work, doing good things back there in the woods, and it's in the Atlas area.
That's right. You know, it's all about spreading the love. You know, we've been coming down here for a while. We got EHAB up here, you, Wygan, Megawatts, and Rodney Tomlin. It just wouldn't be the same if I was at home and listening to you guys on Racer TV and not being up here on the scene.
Well, we're stoked to have you. Wes Kane in the house. That's his duties. He's a meet and greet kind of guy over there at Atlas. So stop in, say hi to Wes. He's got 10 tips that'll make you a better human being. He's not going to make you a better racer. It takes zero talent. That's all. You don't have any talent anyway to get total respect. So Wes Kane's 10 tips on how to get respect, and it doesn't cost you anything. I love it. Who said there was nothing free in life? Well, Wes Kane's going to give it to you. He is going to give it to you. How about it right now? Giving it to the competition. The #1 of Mike Brown had to fight John Gruey off in that first turn. Brownie out front, Gruey in the #2 spot, Barry Karsten 3rd, Edward Walston is 4th, John Bolin 5th, Matthew Crown. We saw these guys earlier in the morning in the plus 50 class. We saw Crown and John Gruey. Ryan Valade in the #7 spot, and Chad Guchenauer in the #8 spot. And here comes Mike Brown, flying Mike Brown. He is 47 years old, banging on the door of the 50cc class. Still got some speed, folks. Mike Brown absolutely crushing the competition right now. Good Lord, that's a heck of a first lap. Second place now, just coming over the tower. Just past us here. Mike Brown absolutely putting together an incredible first lap. Mike Brown already out past the mechanics area, heading towards the 10 Commandments. We were talking about it earlier. I think Mike Brown, we need to get that guy on our donations team. They're having kind of a hard time getting guys selected. We'll get Mike Brown, John Gruey, Earl May. There's your donations team. We're sending them to Europe. So 1 lap in the books, and Mike Brown is your leader. No, that is not a mistake on your TV screen. That's how far Mike Brown is out front of the #11 machine. That is Edward Walston in the #2 spot. He's got John Gruey in tow. There he is, the #11 KTM ride of Edward Walston, then Gruey. And Barry Karsten into the picture now on the #31 Suzuki, right behind Gruey. Anytime Gruey's on the racetrack, about 15 feet away will be Barry Karsten, period. They don't even work in the same building, but somehow their cubicles always end up next to each other back home. There's the #1 Mike Brown already back around for lap #2. Get a lap time for old Brownie here. And Gruey has gotten around Edward Walston. Walston with a W. There's Walston. Now slips back to the #3 spot. And then you have the #31 of Barry Karsten, followed by the #44 of Frenchie Greg Paymart. This is race #13 plus 40 class, race 14. It's gonna be a good one. The 125cc, 12 to 17. You might call it schoolboy back in your local races. Awesome to see the resurgence of this 125 class. Every Pro National features that All-Star 125 class. Ryan Villapoto picking up a few wins recently. Had a heck of a battle with Joshua Varese at Paula. And Gruey starting to open things up on Walston. Walston out getting a knock on the door from the 31 of Barry Karsten. Carson trying to pad that wallet with that Suzuki contingency. We are following along the number 11. Getting pressure from Gregory Paymart. Frenchie has made the pass there. Frenchie getting around Barry Karsten. Oh, easy on the ACL, man. So Walston trying to remount and attack him, but he's also trying to keep Barry Karsten behind him. So he's multitasking back there in the number 3 spot. So Karsten makes his way around the number 11 into the number 3 spot. It's Brown, Gruey, Paymart is 3rd, excuse me, Barry Karsten 4th, and Walston back to 5th.
Well, at this particular point, if the road to the 25-plus class goes through Mike Brown, you know these guys are thinking in this senior 40-plus class, oh, great.
Seriously, yeah, you see that lead? He's got a 27-second lead 3 laps into this thing.
Wow, that's just, and he's got a lap time of 5 minutes and 36 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think that's correct. Yeah, your second place rider has a 6-minute 4 lap time. I think that's total race elapsed time.
I think so, yeah.
Mike Brown, the returning champ. He's got several championships to his credit throughout the years. Former Team Green rider, turned pro, had a very long and prosperous career. He has harassed riders on that Mega Series tour for many, many years.
Mike Brown checking in now with 2 laps complete here in the senior 40-plus class, dropping that 5:36 lap time down to 2 minutes now, 0.8. Actually, yeah, Kevin was right. That was the lapse time over the first couple laps or so. But Mike Brown out front now as we are 8 minutes. Actually, I think that's lap 3 we should have in the history books now. Working on lap number 4. 8 minutes and 25 seconds into this moto. It's a 20-minute moto once again, so about 11.5 minutes running in this one. It's Brown, Gruey, Karsten, Palmer. He had about a Frenchie. Edward Walston now in the number 5 spot aboard the 11. Christopher McMillan, the 89 is 6. Chad Smith in 7th. Tony Wink, the 69 machine, one of our Weisco representatives here with us. Ryan Valade, the number 59 in 9th. And Matthew Crown rounding out the top 10. And that is your senior 40-plus class. Top 10 as Chad Goshenauer in the 11th place. Gabe Guardado in the number 12 spot. Jeremiah Thays in 13th. Galen Dixon 14th aboard the 93. And Robert Zing, the 39, rounding out the top 15 as we approach the halfway point. I imagine maybe not this time around for our leaders, but the following time around we may see those cross flags out for Mike Brown. But then again, we'll see. Now, he's going to beat it, so he's still under about 9.5 minutes into this moto. But regardless, still a 20-minute moto, no matter where the halfway point falls when the rider comes by. John Gruey back in the number 2 spot. A 30-second deficit now. Back to the number 2 spot. Barry Karsten now has moved into the number 3 position as he works his way up a few spots, at least from what I saw in the early part of this one. 10 seconds now behind now Paymart, now a second behind Karsten. Walston less than a second behind Paymart. As Frenchie under the pressure there. But riders actually running nearly identical lap times between the 44 and the 11. So this is a battle that we've seen waging for some time. There, we got a split screen going on with your leader Mike Brown all the way out here in the short chutes, heading toward the Comedic Gasket, now bowl turn and into the 10 Commandments. Gruey still back in the number 2 spot as he checks in now 33 seconds behind Mike Brown. Barry Karsten another 13 seconds back behind Gruey. Paymart 9/10 of a second behind now Barry Karsten. So there's where the battle is. That's the battle for 3rd place. Where's the 31 and 44 as we try to pick them out physically on this racetrack? We see Gruey now heading through the Comedic Gaskets, bowl turn into the 10 Commandments. So coming through the short chutes now should be that battle for the number 3 position.
So about 7 laps in, we got about 8 minutes of racing remaining here. So about 4 laps to go. Mike Brown continues to hover around the 2-minute mark. No reason to really push. He's got a 33-second lead over the elder statesman John Gruey, coming in at 53. Mike Brown at 47. Barry Karsten at 65 years old. He's got an AMA card, an AARP card.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. You can save money with those things.
I'm not mad at you.
So who got the whole shot in this one, Kevin?
Well, it was Mike Brown and John Gruey battling for it, so I'm not sure who actually got it, though. I can't make that call from 1,500 yards away.
Sure you can. You can make it whether or not it's right. You could be like me and not be right.
Just an educated guess.
Hey, you get used to it after a while.
Yeah, I'm wrong all the time. We've got 13 minutes into this one, 6 more minutes to go here with Mike Brown, who is just on a Sunday stroll, putting in 2-minute lap times. Tennessee, a Tennessee native, just on the other side of the big wide state. Blountville, Tennessee, Gray, Tennessee. The home of Muddy Creek. How many laps has he spun at that racetrack? Hundreds and hundreds.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, as this one rolls through, we're 13 and a half, working on 14 minutes into this one now, and the number 1 machine working its way through some lap traffic. A 2-minute flat lap time there from Mike Brown. That time around, still enjoying a 35+ second lead over John Gruey, and as Gruey checks in here shortly, we'll see what that gap is starting to look like now. Gruey actually opening up a pretty good lead over Karsten now, about 16 seconds, and finally Karsten getting a little bit of breathing room off the 44. That 4th place rider Frenchie back there, as he is now 2.2 seconds back after the last couple of laps. Ed Walston now in the number 5 spot aboard the 11. Chris McMillan in 6th. Ryan Valade 7th. Tony Wink in 8th. Chad Smith 9th. Matthew Crown rounding out the top 10. Goshenauer 4th. Thies, Guardardo, and Dixon. Dixon drops off a spot there to the number 15 position. He was running 14th a lap ago, maybe in a position or 2 further up. Here we're watching on the screen now at RacerTV.com. John Gruey making his way through the mechanics area. Uncontested now, but again, the biggest obstacles on the racetrack in this particular moto, the race course itself. and the lap traffic that these riders are having to manipulate. And, you know, looking at this racetrack late in the day, look how deep those inside lines are becoming, and look how many multiple lines there are in and around the whole shot forest over there. I mean, that is the race face of this track. I mean, choosing the right line gets to be pretty critical out there. But
yeah, and especially later on in the day as the line gets wider and wider, guys are looking for that smooth real estate. You'll see them hunting and pecking for smooth, clean race lines. Sometimes you just got to go right down the middle and just take it on the chin.
That works. It does. I mean, and you know, oftentimes, you know, and I've noticed as quickly as these ruts and as deep as these ruts can get, you know, one of the problems these riders could run into, of course, is dragging a foot peg in that and maybe slowing themselves down. But overall, I mean, it seems like today these riders, I saw that quite a bit in yesterday's practice, but the riders seem to be working away from those types of situations here as Brown makes his way down on that trusty Yamaha steed in front of the famous billboard here at Loretta Lynn's. And man, again, I just can't get over how challenging those moguls are, how big those naturally forming whoops are over there in front of that billboard. I mean, have you gone down there and stood beside those? They're getting 2 and 3 feet deep in some places.
Yeah, especially we call it dropping in. They're dropping into that left-hander by the billboards. You literally drop down 3 feet to make the left-hander onto the mechanics straightaway there. It's crazy.
It is a challenging track, no doubt about it. Championship caliber as John Gruy checks in now 42 seconds behind Mike Brown here with 3 minutes remaining in the Moto. So 2-lap board is out on this one. Barry Karsten should be checking in the number 3 spot with Paymart in 4th and Walston to round out the top 5.
Yeah, the 10 Commandments have all, it's kind of held together pretty well this year. Haven't really degraded that much. Hanging tough is the number 1. He is definitely not degrading. Mike Brown is absolutely handling business right now into that big roller section. Just picks the front wheel up, says, I'm just not even going to deal with the braking bumps. Middle part of the racetrack, that's where you will find the Rock River Cycle Trader, Yamaha, Triangle Cycles, whatever he's riding there. Brownie has handled it from the drop of the gate, led every second of this one. Here we go, white flag lap with your leader, Mike Brown. Consistent 2-minute 2:01 lap times. 9 laps into this thing. Has to bring the bike to a complete stop as he runs into the back of a rider there. Keeps it up on 2 wheels past the mechanics area. Brownie's done a little bit of everything. Done a little enduro cross, tons of motocross. Almost raced with the Donations team. Into the 10 Commandments we go. Brownie one last time through there. Still Gruy in the number 2 spot, 46 seconds back. Barry Carson 23 seconds behind him. Paymart in 4th, Edward Walston 5th, Ryan Blade 6th, Christopher McMillan is 7th, Tony Wink 8th, Matthew Crown 9th, and Chad Smith round out your top 10 white flag lap plus 40 class. Just about done. 125.12 to 17. That'll be the next class. That is going to be a super exciting class. You want to come on out and watch that one. Mike Brown, I'm going to say it, he made this race boring. He says, I'm going to take the fun right out of it, and I'm just going to put it to you. No drama in his world right now. This is easy breezy. So the information we got up here was the white flag was out. That was a lap early, so we have the white flag on the white flag. This will be the white flag lap. So this will be the last time for Mike Brown through the 10 commandments. Brownie looking over his shoulder. Nobody in the vicinity. You got this one under control. Mike Brown actually turns a 159 that time around. So deep into the moto, he finds another gear. And that'll do it. The checker flag is out. Mike Brown on the #1 Yamaha won that one going away 53 seconds. That was the deficit. Brownie will take the win. John Gruey will come through in just a bit. He'll finish up second. Gregory Paymart will finish out your podium. Barry Karsten in fourth. Edward Walston fifth. Ryan Valade sixth. Christopher McMillan seventh. Tony Wink eighth. Matthew Crown ninth. And Chad Smith rounds out your top 10. 11th place will be Chad Guchenauer. Ronnie Ford 12th. John Bolin 13th. Galen Dixon 14th. And Gabriel Gardardo will round out our top 15 as we get ready to send it down to Rodney Tomlin in just a moment. John Gruey just about to make it to the finish line on the number 70 Kawasaki.
All right, thanks, Kevin, down here on the podium. Now, as we got Mike Brown, our Moto 1 winner for the Senior 40-plus class. Come on, folks, put your hands together. It's the Mike Brown. Well, the road to a lot of championships seems to go through Mike Brown here in 2019 as he picks up the Bell Helmets whole shot of $100 there. And, of course, a big Moto win. Wow, a big Moto win. 40 seconds, I think, is what they're saying that the deficit was at the end of that one, Mike. But, you know, whenever you line up on that gate, you never know what to expect, so you go out and give it your all.
Oh, for sure. You know, every year there's somebody different sneaking in, and, you know, you got to come prepared for the best. And this year I've actually rode more than I have the last couple years. I've been training a girl here, and it's been keeping me riding more than ever. So this year I've been riding a lot more than I ever have, so it's should be a good week. I'm looking forward to the 25 plus. It's going to be a really tough one.
No doubt. I know I'm going to enjoy watching that one unfold for sure, but congratulations to the big win here in the Senior 40 plus class Moto 1. I'm sure there's some shout outs you'd like to give.
For sure. Rockstar, Cycle Trader, FXR Gear for making us amazing custom gear for this race. Rock River for supporting me with the bike and stuff out there. Triangle Cycle guys. Dunlop Tires, FMF, you know, Arc Levers, Pro Taper, and it's a good time to be out here. Like I said, I'm sure people give me shit up for being out here, but I love racing. That's the main thing. I don't care if I got last, first, or whatever. I'm out here racing at 48 years old and enjoyed it just as much as the kids do.
There you go. That's why you keep doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Brown taking the win here in the Senior 40-plus class. Still having fun. That's passion right there whenever you continue to do something that you love to do right there. As we move to our second place position finish, my buddy and yours, everybody's buddy, of course. We're talking about John Gruey. Well, John, getting his hat. That's it. I got to get the old hat. How about it? Put your hands together. John Gruey taking the second place position here in the Senior 40-plus class. Wow, I tell you what, John, hands full, no doubt about that one coming into this one, just with one other guy on the racetrack. I mean, anytime you line up and you got Barry out there, you know you're going to have your hands full, but when we got Mike Brown too, whoa.
Yeah, that's a whole different story. You know, I keep telling myself, man, I would like to just, you know, when I'm fresh, hang with him for a lap and see where he's going, but he's so aggressive and so on it. It's just, you know, fun to see how good he is at his age, and man, hats off to him.
No doubt, and you rode a stellar ride yourself, a good solid finish in second, buddy. Who do you want to say thanks to?
Team Babbitt's at home, Kawasaki Team Green, Decal Works, Fox, FMF, Dunlop Tires, Tamer Whole Shot Devices, Twin Air, Renthal, W Wheels, Factory Connection Suspension, and if I didn't say Decal Works, they just helped me a ton. I really appreciate what everybody does. If I forgot somebody, thank you.
There you go, John Gruey, ladies and gentlemen, taking silver here in the senior 40-plus class, Moto #1, and here he comes. He does it in the last couple of laps there. He puts it all together, the 44 of Frenchie, ladies and gentlemen. Greg Paymart taking the bronze here at Loretta. Come on, step out. I don't want everybody to think that's your bike, man, because you'll take that #1 plate, though, right?
Oh yeah, every day, you know, but it's going to be hard to take, you know. Ronnie, it's always solid, you know, and he's my target when I train on my spare time. I try to visualize myself not getting smoked too hard. How's that?
That's good. Well, I'll tell you what, you didn't get smoked out there in this one, and you had yourself a pretty good battle. You had to come from behind a little bit and do a little chase down and a little pass. How did that battle between you and Carson go for third?
Well, you know, District 6 guys, you know, I'm from District 6, so we've been battling as long as I moved to the US. I think it was 1984. So me and Barry, you know, are like cat and mouse all the time. But I kind of saved myself a little bit at the beginning of the motor. I was looking for some good lines and, you know, watch where it was going. And then I pulled the trigger as late as I could, you know, because he's always making a trunk come back. So, but it's always a pleasure here to be at the ranch, you know. It's pretty much the only race in the vet class. We have a full gate, so it's pretty awesome. I want to thank my wife, Marika, and Rest of Rest Line, Crossroad Power Sport, FX Air Gear, Andy White's here, cool dude. You know, FMF, Scott Goggles. I tried the new Scott Goggles. I came out last year. When you're a vet guy, you're after. If you're a young kid, you get the new stuff right away. You know? But super pumped, you know, to be here and have a lot of fun. You know, I want to thank everybody that got me here, and that's it, man. Thanks to you guys. Do a great job. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man, for being a part of it. That's Frenchie Greg Paymart, ladies and gentlemen, taking the bronze here in the senior 40-plus class.